Hi, I'm David Reevely.
And I'm Kate Heartfield.
We're writers for the Ottawa Citizen covering the federal election. We're going to talk about some of the things that have been in our minds this week. For instance, some of the most interesting local races. Kate, what do you think?
I'm actually interested in Canada Carleton, which is surprising me a little bit, but the race there between Karen McCrimmon and Walter Pamick is one that I certainly can't predict, so I'll be watching to see what happens there. I know that early on, everybody was watching Ottawa West Nepean and Orleans. What are you thinking about those ridings now?
I actually think they're a lot less interesting than I would have thought at the beginning. I thought there were going to be tight races between Conservatives and Liberals there, but unless something really remarkable happens in the polls, I think they're very likely to be Liberal pickups. I agree with you on Canada Carleton, and I'd add to that list Nepean, which is basically a vacant seat with John Baird retiring, and a so-so Conservative candidate and a pretty strong Liberal in Chandra Arya. And actually, this might be a bit more of a stretch, but in Ottawa Vanier, which has been a Liberal stronghold since forever, I think the NDP are worth watching there. Emily Tamman, who's a federal prosecutor who essentially quit her job to run, has a long and interesting history. There's a strong French-Canadian vote there too. Might give Maurice Belanger a bit of a run for his money.
Yeah, and he's been in office for 20 years, I think, so which may work in his favor or may not.
Good long time, yeah.
One of the things that happened across national news, obviously in the last couple of weeks, has been the groundswell of concern about the Syrian refugee crisis. And it seems like it's been had a particular resonance in Ottawa, in particular because of this city's history with Project 4000 and Marion Dewar. Are you noticing this trickling into the local campaign at all?
I think it's an issue that probably affects people, particularly in cities with a lot of immigrants all across the country, people who have some history either in their own lives or in their families, similar to what refugees fleeing the Middle East are going through. I think it's kind of a slow burn issue. It attracted a lot of attention, but it is going on and on and on as the city and community groups and churches have been working together to try to figure out what they're going to do. And there's been a lot of talk, and every time it comes up, an element of that is, geez, is the Conservative government doing enough about it? I don't know, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it definitely seems to be tying into general malaise about the current government in general. So that might work in the NDP and Liberal favor, but on the other hand, if they don't really have anything to match that with that looks like a vision of their own, then they're going to lose that momentum for whatever it's worth in a political campaign. And it also means that we're going to lose the momentum on the issue, which would be the real tragedy.
Right, actually helping people, which is the important part.
Right.
Speaking of slow burn issues, we got a trial coming up, right? Something not quite Mike Duffy, but kind of along the same lines.
Yeah, Bruce Carson's trial, I believe, starts on September 14th. So yeah, that'll be something to watch to see. I don't think it'll have the same resonance as the Duffy trial, but obviously it's one more headache that the Conservatives don't want.
Yeah, Bruce Carson, being a special advisor to the Prime Minister, is now charged with influence peddling and illegal lobbying for work he was sort of doing on the side, allegedly, at the same time. So, big week coming up. Big week just passed. Lots more to come, I think.
Yeah, and some all-candidates meetings finally starting to happen next week. So at the riding level, there'll be some more things to watch.
Lots to talk about.